Well, given that during the pandemic there was thrown 5 trillion fiscal
Welcome,
stimulus
World
on the
Globe.
economy and 5 trillion
Welcome
Fed balance sheet expansion,
to Timothy
it's not a
Green,
surprise that when you throw 10 trillion at
Investment,
a roughly 10 and 20
Stock
trillion dollar
Market,
economy,
and
drawing that
Bond
out of the economy
School.
is taking time. So that's
I
why, in
want to
some
let
sense,
them
it's not
catch up a
surprising
little
that it's
bit
taking time
where I'm
to
at
get all this liquidity back, and therefore that it's taking
because
time to get household
when
savings
they
drawn
sell
down, to
them
get government
bonds,
savings
send
drawn
them
down, and therefore,
bonds
to
to
your
the
question,
wrong
to get
place,
non-farm payrolls to really slow.
it angered the
We just
market
need to go through a period
because
before
it
we get
was
that
trying to
slowdown
work
that we
with
need to get
them.
from. Double barrel. You've got non-farm
But
payrolls going
understand,
down at some
the
point.
bank is
Spectacular
always
chart
going
today
to collect
shows the
money.
miscall of recession doom and
What's in
gloom.
the bank?
Drawing it out,
The
folks. So
market going
I'll
to
put it up on
collect
here.
every dime from
Again,
it
let's dovetail
before
those
it takes the
together
bank
to
off the
get to where
market
you think we're going to get. Is it
because
just a smooth linear
the
progression,
bank
or is it going to
is
be
no longer
changing
part
condition,
of
or
the
even a
market
more brutal
for the
discontinuous
investment to put
possibility?
their
This
money
is
in
absolutely
because that's
critical
where the
because
investment
before, when the
put
Fed
their
was just
money
hiking rates
when the
25
market
basis
pay.
points, they were looking around saying, "How is the
So
economy going to do?
now
Okay, we go another
what the
25."
market is
And
telling the
once
bank
we get through that process, that was all going
is it's
smoothly
no
fine.
longer part of
But
the
the challenge
market.
is that we have now, over the last few months, added
It
the
is
banking
part of the
crisis
stock.
and tighter credit
And
conditions
everything
and a
that's
banking
in the
situation
stock,
where banks are
it
seeing much
will
less
get
demand for
taken.
commercial real estate loans, much
So they
less
can
demand for
come up
C&I
with
loans.
everything
Those
and
came
anything
down
they
to
want,
2008 levels. Those
long
levels
as the
raised the rate
bank
exactly at the same
continue
time
to
that we
make
may have a
money.
nonlinear slowdown
The
in the coming
market
quarters
could
where
going
tighter
to
credit conditions
continue
may be
to take.
accelerating the slowdown in the economy. This is the key debate. Is this recession delayed or a recession
And you
interrupted?
see these
And we're looking
engineers
at
act
data.
like they don't
And this is, I
understand
didn't
that
get to give us any indication ahead of it,
because the
but we just
amount of
have to
money
wait and see what mystery box
that
awaits
the
us.
market is
Absolutely, because the
collecting from the
challenge is if
bank
we threw 10 trillion at the
is
economy,
way too high for
sucking that
them
out
to
again is
pay.
going to take time. And how do
And
I
when
weigh
they
that in the
send the
context of the
bond
model purpose of the US
to the
economy,
wrong
where on the one hand,
person,
we had huge stimulus that's still
the market
stimulating, but at the same
recognized
time, the
of
Fed
the
is trying to slow things
portfolio
down,
where it's
and we have
supposed to
tighter
go,
credit conditions.
that
So
it
I would
was
have thought, and
there,
that's what the chart is showing today,
that
that the
someone
recession
else
would have gotten like
intercepted they's
6 months
not
ago. But
supposed
now
to,
it's
and
taking
that
more
is
time to take
stealing,
that 10 trillion
that
down. But what we
hike
do
up the
know
rate
is that the Fed is very, very
for the
keen on seeing
market
inflation
to
down
hike
from 5% to 2%. And as long
the
as that's the
bank
case,
rate
the Fed will
that
continue
they
to
will
slow down
have
rates.
to
The Fed will
pay
continue to slow down
for them
earnings growth,
bonds,
and the Fed will continue to slow down hiring.
especially when they don't know what to do with it
Where suddenly people are
and they tries
rethinking
to
whether this is
sell it
actually a banking crisis,
under
perhaps
a wrong
overvaluing the
stock
equation a bit. And you're seeing yields
and
move
who they going to
higher.
sell it
That's
to,
really taking a
who's going to
bite out
buy
of
it.
valuations. Do you think that there
You're going to
really
send
will
it
be
back to the
an
bank?
economic sea
I
change
don't think
resulting
so
on artificial intelligence, resulting in some
because
of the
the
shift
bank is
in
already
allocations
in
of
trouble
people's
with the
pocketbooks?
market.
I do think that very
It
importantly,
used to
first of all,
be
inflation
a
is still
partner
way too
deal.
high relative to the Fed's
But
target.
once
So
a
importantly,
bank
the Fed will look at
break
inflation at
a
5 and say
profile
we have to do more to
and
get
take
inflation, at least keep
money
rates
from
at these levels for a
account
longer time to get
from
inflation down. There are two
investment
reasons
in
for
the
that.
stock
Maybe first of
market,
all, housing
it's no
expectations going
longer
up,
part
lower
of
output pressure, and housing as usual makes up
a
40% of the
partner
CPI basket.
in the
So that's leading to
investment
potentially
where
inflation down the road.
investment
On the
put
other
their
hand, it's also
money.
that wage inflation is also
It
coming down too
become
slow.
part of the
In other words,
stock
March average out earnings at 4.5%.
that the
This is
market
closer to
data
2 times
must
what it was
collect.
pre-pandemic. So that raises the
Every
risk to us,
dollar
Elisa, that inflation will be
under
sticky.
the
And
dollar
inflation is
in the
sticky, it doesn't translate
portfolio
into growth and venture capital, and particular growth
in the
in the
stock,
Fed is trying to slow down growth. That
and
should be good
whatever
news
is
eventually
in
in the
the
coming year.
stock is getting collected. That
That
even
even
included the bank itself. So this is why the hesitation
What's a derivative right
of
now
they are being
inflation
afraid
that we're seeing?
that they
What
should be
level do you have to get at
because the
without
market
second-order
knows.
convexity down to a lower
You can
level?
say
You
one
have
or
two
two,
problems:
three
inflation,
things
and we'll get the new
the
numbers from
market
PCE,
do.
but that will just be a derivative of the
That's
CPI we
read
just got. But the problem is
and
inflation is
count
at 5,
and
and 5
pay.
is not 2. And most
And the
importantly, guys,
market
5 is
does
not
that
4.
very
It's not
well.
4 either, and therefore 5 is
So
not even moving
you
up
cannot
to
fix
look at
nothing
the 6 month
that is
change, the
not
3 month change, the
broken.
12-month change in cost of
That's when
money.
it's
It's
correct.
moving sideways.
That's the
So
only
yes,
thing you
it
can
is
do
true to say that maybe owner's equivalent rent and housing inflation could be
is
coming down
correct
eventually, but with a
with
lot of
the
indicators of
market
housing
is saying
turnover,
that
prospective buyers is going
portfolio
up, existing home sales
of
is going up,
that
new home sales is going up, home
bank
buyer confidence and
had
home building
broken
confidence
that
is going up. The
contract
number of bids per home
with
is
that
also going up. So that's
investment.
all telling you that if CPI, in particular the housing component, starts to go up,
The
inflation will indeed
engineer
turn out to be more
can
sticky.
read it
So
any way they want it.
well, the Pharaoh could care less. But
It doesn't matter.
and one answer
It's
to
always going
it's
to
back
read a
up
high
6
rate
point X percent. So
because of the
stay
polio, under the dollar, under the bond. that wishes the bond is money under the dollar that is taken from the bank and everything that in the bank, in the stock of the bank, which now the bank is becoming part of the stock. I'm still crying. I still need some cigarettes. I can't even afford cigarettes. I can't even afford a haircut. Hell, David tried to change my address and I'm still in the same damn place. And whoever tried to tried to snatch them bond into their name and sell them to anybody, private investment, private, they not gonna buy. And when they don't have the money to buy them and not even invest it into the stock, they don't give away free bond. Do you understand? It have to be sell right. And if they don't sell them bonds right, the market's going to pick it right on up. The market going to say, this ain't the person. We sent it to the right address, but somehow it got in the wrong hand. How in the world that happened? The only thing that's going to do is upset the market. The market going to collect more rate under the death certificate with the bond under the dollar. It been screaming bank for so long they already know. Why haven't they looked at the profile of the portfolio where this bank having this money have been paid to this investment and that investment haven't got paid? How could it go to the wrong person when it's supposed to go to that investment at that place? You see, these people where I'm at, don't let Friendly Smile fool you. When you pick up a snake and the snake say, I'm friendly, I'm not going to bite you. Be careful what kind of snake you pick up, because that snake is just as deadly as a bite. Hey, I'm just letting you know, because the market understand these things, that if your name not on a portfolio where you make a great investment, where though the market had paid in that name and you and accepted, wow. Well, we're not going to go through all that. Just check this out. In order to get inflation down from 5 to 2%. To put a bow on it, that's the problem. You cannot slow down the market when the market is collecting with a lot of money in the bank. And when the market is collecting every stock of the dollar of the percentage in the bank across the globe, and it's getting every dollar. They worrying about how much money it is. The economy is not in trouble. It's just they fund. It's no longer they funds. That's what they're afraid of. Then they should have did the right thing. Then the bank should have not tried to steal from the market of an investment. And that upset the market, because the market paid and the market knows who made that investment and where that money should have went at. And it was going to the right place. And if you would have had listened to my last video, and I told you when they decided to take a turn, it will make the market come down. But to collect more money under the rate, every time they try to fool the market's not going to try to fool you back. The market is only going to collect more because the market is doing what it's supposed to do. That's what investment is all about. You invested in that. You invested your money into the bank, and it's time to collect stocks and bonds under the market, in the market, under the dollar. Trust me, investment gonna collect them dollars in that bond, in that stock with the market. It's gonna fall into the category of that portfolio. Hey, only thing they gotta do, go get some more money and put it in the bank. You wanna help the bank out? Because the market is not going anywhere as long as you keep putting your money in the bank. And the market is going to keep collecting. It doesn't matter how much it is. It doesn't matter how much money you put on it. You better be glad there's only one portfolio. The thing is the amount of money that was invested under the dollar. And you got to understand something that the bank fails to realize. When you're a wealthy person, it's simple. Big investment, they don't tell you that under the dollar mean $1 bill. They hear too big for that. A dollar is $100,000. So you take that $100,000 and you add that $100,000 in that portfolio. How it been invested? That it adds up a dollar. How much is in a dollar? Let's say 60 cents. So if the dollar is 60 cents and you invested in a dollar, so now you have 40 cents left. That other dollar is going to cross over to if you, let me start over. If you have a dollar and it's 60 cents, so it crossed over to the next dollar is you got 40 cents. So if you got 40 cents and there's out of a dollar, there's 60 cents left. Now you got 60 cents. So that's 60 cents in a dollar. You got 40 cents in the other dollar gonna put with the dollar to make a dollar that's gonna cross over to 60 cents. Understand what I'm saying? The money's just gonna keep rolling. It's not gonna stop. I'm trying to break it down to you the best way I can because the big head investment, they ain't gonna break it down like I break it down to you. What part you don't understand? It got to go to the right person in order to stop the market. It's not about controlling the market. It's about making the right investment and the right pay to the right portfolio. And if you are in an investment, you don't understand that, the market gonna understand that it must keep collecting. It doesn't matter how you try to shift it or try to break it up or come to some kind of collusion that we can make this go away. Okay, then you might well take the whole market off the economy. Because if you try that, it's going to come back. It's going to pick up. And when it pick up, the money that you didn't provide to an investment, it's going to keep coming back. So if you try to bullshit an investment, that means you can bullshit all the investment that put their money on the market, that don't get paid, that put their money in the bank, and that shit is unacceptable. You understand what the fuck I'm saying? Understand what I'm saying. Understand what I'm saying. It doesn't matter how you cut it. What matter is that investment must get paid. That's all the market understands. Because the market paid that money to that investment. And when the bank tried to snatch and run away, it had broken the contract with the market of investment, because the market don't steal, the market don't cheat, the market's not gonna try to bullshit you. The market pays. And if that portfolio don't get paid, the market gonna collect every stock that's in the bank. Now, what stock out there around the world that don't put their money in the bank? I'm gonna leave it like that. Let you check it out. Let you understand what they talking about. It unacceptable. The market is counting, and the market is counting money. And once it go back under zero, they underway under the death certificate.
You look around the world, all of these actors that were thought to be sort of removed from the action are anything but. How much is that a big part of the story, that this is supply people weren't counting on?
I think that's exactly right.
As you can see, it's in the negative. Once it's in the negative, let me tell you something. If you got 1 and 1, you attract 1, which you got under 0. You see that? That is a percentage over there. It is a plus. It is what they have to pay that they didn't pay, what the market collect from the stock, because the money is still coming in. It's still a lot of money coming in, and the market is not going to stop counting until that person of that portfolio get paid. You can't send it to the wrong people and they don't know what to do with it. I'm not going to tell you, because any person that knows the investment, that knows that you cannot get free bond,
if they're working at odds to the goal of the OPEC
that
members,
it
that
has
want
to
see
be
oil
somebody
close to $100 a barrel.
invested in the market, that these bonds under that portfolio, they understand the category of the bond is way out of their league. You see, this is one of the greatest portfolio of all time. Of all time. Because the market collects the bond, the dollar in the bond is going to be collected in the bond. So when they decided to take this bond, they have a higher rate under the dollar in the bond. It is part of the stock that was in the bank. Understand what I'm saying?
Really, the market is being driven by Chinese demand and increasingly Indian demand. I think China's economy clearly is slower, weaker than people was expecting. Demand might be what it was.
Of course. Look how many China got Chinatown. Look how many American money they have. Look how many American money they export across the world to make more money to send it to America that we don't even use because our money is valuable and we just use it for collateral and send it back to them. Understand and give us credit on the market across the globe. Understand what I'm saying? I know you don't understand these things, but understand when you have a bank here and a bank there in other nations, and you have a stock market and the money have to be collected from the bank, everything in their bank under the stock is going to be collected because now the bank have become part of the stock, no longer part of the market where investment, where we put our money. To understand that the market pays, your money is in the bank. So when the bank, I need a damn cigarette. When a bank break that contract with the market, it is no longer part of the investment, part of the stock market. It is the stock that's in the market, and the market's gonna collect its money from the banks. Those banks. Not just one bank, not just two. Check it out. Bank is bank, private, commercial is a bank. Understand what I'm saying? It's part of the stock now, and the market recognizes that. And the market knows this. The market was giving the bank credit under investment. But that the bank invested they rate a high rate, and more money they make, the more rate that the bank makes, the market collects the money. So everything that's in the bank that people put their money in is going to have to go up to pay the bank for their rate. And the bank has to pay that rate with their rate to the market, and the market's going to collect because the money going to continue to come in. They see these big head engineers, they come up with these all of this. Wow. You know, they come up trying to understand a solution, how not to pay this high rate money, but it's too late. Because longest they don't pay, the longest the market gonna continue to take a higher rate. Because it is an investment. Money they invested that must be paid. It must be paid. This is what investment is all about. The only difference between playing poker and real life and monopoly, when you invested in the market, in the stock market, on bond, this is Bloomberg Surveillance on TV and radio alongside Tom King. And your money's supposed to go to the bank, and looking at your portfolio, it doesn't happen. And the investment of the stock market of bond had paid all taxes under that portfolio. It's priced in. And once it's priced in, there's nothing that anybody can say. There is something they can do. And it's only one thing they can do: to stay correct with the investments of the stock market, is to pay that money like the market commands them to pay. We don't have to go into all details.
He's got company, that's for sure. Bramo, we've been asking the same question over the last
You
24
know,
hours. Is the Fed going to spoil the party? Chairman Powell a little bit later.
because
sort of. They're sort of
if you
tiptoeing
knew
around. Well, we might have to do more. We heard that yesterday
where
from a
that
couple
need
members
a
of
land
Camille
in that
Kashkari. They
portfolio,
haven't done enough, and the market
and you
isn't
send
listening.
it
And that was
to
their
that
takeaway
place,
yesterday when
and
the
someone else
Fed official came out and said,
intercept
you know
it,
what, we could do more. The market was like, I don't think
should
so.
have
But Chair Powell had a chance
make
to do
sure
that last week, and
they
he didn't.
receive it,
They sound nervous, don't
because
they? Governor
the
Waller
economy
calling the bond market move an earthquake.
of the
They're still trying to
money
understand.
of the
You heard that
investment,
in the Fed speak of the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, dark matter
they
is
dollar
things that we don't understand
under
with respect
high
to term
rate
premium. This
is in
concerning,
trouble.
because when you
That's
talk
all.
about the stock market
Only
rally,
thing it's
you
going to
think
cost
about
them to
what
pay
actually
higher
happened.
rate,
All that happened
more
was a rally
money,
in the bond market. This is
work
not a
harder.
stock-driven story. So at a certain point, no
It's
one
not
can
weird though.
the bond market, and no one can get very
It's
much
going to
commission.
be a capital. The capital is pretty high, but it's not going to be where though. The world coming to an end. It's just that you're going to have to put more money, and long as the bank continue to try to jack their rate, the market going to jack the rate of the amount of money they have to pay, because under the dollar it had already waiting on them to pay more money under the percentage what they have to pay, and they didn't pay from years back until this day, into the future. Into the future. I'm talking about the money got to add up under the dollar, because the dollar keep on adding. The dollar's not going to stop. They lucky. They lucky. The amount of money wasn't too long, because they would have been broke by now. You know. And far as the bank holding all this money, passing it on to the treasurer, and the treasurer already know, and the treasurer borrows some money from the treasurer, that's just more money go back. That's going to give that portfolio credit, because that bank ain't got credit for sharing money. It's only due under the credit where credit is due. They must give that credit, some credit of that portfolio, of that pay, of that growth that didn't get
Why do
paid.
people care? When are people going to wake up and start saying how many bonds are the U.S. government going to sell? It starts now, given how much
I need
borrowing
me a
costs are rising.
cigarette.
White House Press Secretary TK, just to open up the daily news briefing.
Yeah, hey, Bramo, I
Quote
can
the
see
10
doing
year.
that. It'd be great. She could do the
Bramo's going to do it for the White House.
Bramo can be
Nice.
White House press secretary. It'll be great. Olivier Blanchard published yesterday. It was a redo of my book of the summer, his magisterial book on the linkage of all this blather with our fiscal policy. And Blanchard's summary is simple. It's so screwed up, Europe more than us, that we're going to extend the x-axis out, and he used the dreaded D word, decade. This is a decade solution.
The other thing that's getting expensive are all the streaming networks that you're going to be buying, and that's been something that's been a theme throughout the year with all the price increases. We get more of that today with earnings from Warner Brothers before the bell. We get AMC after the bell.
Don't
the real
worry.
discussion around
They'll
the
be
Taylor Swift
happy
effect and how long that can last.
paying $100 for a quart of
I know.
gas. Understand what I'm saying? Because the amount of money
You just absolutely
that the S&P have to spend.
What?
Understand what I'm saying?
Real quick.
Because the money that's supposed to be paid is the one of the most money that makes the economy grow. When those ships and planes has to go across the nation,
She is 7 of the top
even
10
delivering mails
And Disney too is reporting.
that military have to get from their family, that you have to send letters, even on the email under the portfolio. Understand what I'm saying?
Let's talk about this rally.
There's no way out but one way.
Yeah, well,
Pay the money, because if you can shit that person out of his portfolio or his growth or pay, you can shit any investment. That ain't gonna happen. So if you can't shit them, you can't shit that portfolio that was in the bank that didn't get paid from the bank that the market had already paid. I think I said too much. I taught you. I hope I taught you a good lesson. Well, the way I'm feeling right about now, I don't care if you get it or not. It's like what the teacher used to do to me. Hey, look, just push them along. They didn't even care whether I get it or not because of the same way of these people. They're just a bunch of haters. And when you got a bunch of haters, you got a bunch of people who want to destroy the economy, and the market is not about that. The market is about helping the economy grow, keeping the economy wealthy, making sure everybody eats, and not just some people, even the poorest. That's why when poor people like me are able to have opportunity to be wealthy, and where you have a state wants to take that away because of they hate, don't want to see that person grow in a great economy that we call American United States, then we got a problem. Understand what I'm saying? We got a problem in the investment market. That money in the investment market that they spending is not their money, and it's going to continue to eat the economy up. It doesn't matter what engineer technology that they try to come up with it. The market is correct. The market, you're not going to outdo the market of collecting the money and reading. That's what it does.
And you're getting paid a reasonable amount above inflation. And I think ultimately the response mechanism for yields, and I would put the back end in a little bit of a different category.
I tried to teach you the best way of investment that I can, because
I do think ultimately you'll rally
when your money is vested into the bank, when you get off from work and you go put your paycheck in a bank, you expect for the bank to do right by you. Well, same way with the market, because you invested in the market, that these investment, when they get their money for their investment, it goes to the bank. And when the bank, over and over again, I repeat, when the bank breaks that contract, the market collects the pay just like it's supposed to do. And the market pay. Hey,
surface of the implied volatility and options, and you can
it doesn't matter how high the money go. Hell,
Jonathan, you started with
the money can go into 10 zillion trillions.
We know affordability metrics,
but you still gotta pay. Because as long as the money coming in, the long as the market gonna continue to take. Your head can go boom, wow, that's so much money. Well, you making a lot of money because you're putting it in a bank, and the bank is under fire by the market. It is not no longer a part of the stock market. It is the stock, like the rest of the stocks under the market.
Stock market in the market this year, and a really cheap cost of renting the market out to year end, set against.
And when they decided to take that house, and they didn't put their finger on it,
is the risk asset, and this is
that's why the prices of
Does that
housing
mean that people are overly sanguine to the
is
riskiness of
going
stocks,
down.
or
It
that
is so
stocks
high.
have gotten underpriced because people are
Where
so
though
confused
they
by the
try to
stabilizer
take
being
out
so
the
volatile?
stimulant,
I think we can look at the stock
which is
market
under the
valuation
same
metrics in a number of
government,
different ways. Versus earnings, you're kind of middle of the road in
the
terms of
earning
PE
of this
Some
pay,
might argue that your
a taxpayer,
rate adjusted is
it's
too high.
got to be
So
paid
as
because
rates
it's
have
been
come up,
paid.
multiple hasn't really suffered to the extent that
And see, the
people have
economy is
thought
not
it
all
would.
about just the
But ultimately,
richest.
earnings
It's
are
more
solid
about
and
the
stable.
poor
And I think
are
as
taken
I step
care
back and go go back to
of
this
your
term
people
long and variable.
are
I just
doing
don't think
right.
we've seen the impact
Make
of
sure
rates just yet. I
everybody
think
eat
it's a
with low
2024,
prices of
maybe even to
food and
2025
gas and
story. So I
electric.
think the
But
quiet
the
in the
bank
market is a
felt that.
reflection of
The bank
stability in the
fails to
well, stability and
understand when you
profits.
are
Ultimately,
investment
I think that gets
into
dented,
the
but it's a ways
stock
away.
In the
market
next couple of
that
days, we're
what
gonna have to
they
start worrying
do
about a government
will
shutdown
fall
again.
under
I'm
the
sure that we're gonna
stock
hear a lot
market
more,
and
especially
everything
after
under the
Republican,
stock in the market
primary
and the
late
market is
today.
going to collect.
Politics figure in, if at
What
all,
part
into
they
what
don't
you're seeing in terms of
understand?
volatility or how you're positioning.
Yeah, so
What
shutdowns are
part
not
they
dead
don't
ceiling, date
understand?
certain. You've got to get this done by a period
They
of time. I
trying
do
to
think the
come
shutdown
up
is
with
just
all
another
kinds of
indication of
reason.
the fiscal issues on the left and the right and the inability to govern in a lot of ways. You know, the Fitch downgrade, I think, late summer was a function of not just the debt dynamics, but also just the ability to work
But
proactively
that
and
debt
effectively on behalf of the country.
is
So I think it's
must
just going to
be
be another
paid.
notch in this
They don't
inability
have
to
a
work together,
choice.
set against just awful fiscal dynamics that aren't going away.
So
Dean, this was great. Really
if you
thoughtful
can
stuff.
try to
I'll
take
go home
that
later and
away
re-listen to it.
from
Oh,
an
Nick Kennedy,
investment,
macro risk advisors with some
just
really important stuff
imagine
there on
what
the
you
bond
could
market.
do with
If we
all
look
the
at crude,
rest of
just
the
go to the market report
investment
quickly and take a look at
that
WTI.
makes
WTI
investment
crude is trading in the
with
70s.
money
We're down again.
larger
This
than
session,
mine
had the big
ever
one day
was.
lower.
You see,
Down
the
a month
only
yesterday
difference is
in the oil market.
they got paid.
684 is the lowest since July. So here we are,
There's
Tom,
only
in the
one
70s
investment
on WTI
that
crude.
didn't get paid.
On the same day that Israel said its troops had entered the middle of Gaza's main city. This is not where we thought we'd be
Exactly.
a month ago.
Yeah, it's without question the great missed call here. I missed it as well. I was wrong on this.
They
Everybody
must
else, I
pay
don't know,
that
90 or
money.
100 makes sense, but certainly to
That's
see
all
70 is a
that
shock.
mattered to the
And what I
market,
saw in my
because
sabbatical,
the market
I was
had
pulling
paid
up
it
publishing on this
to
book's
that
sabbatical. I
account
looked for that paper
of that
in
portfolio,
January.
of that
The
investment.
lengthy sabbatical I took,
What's
Jen,
wrong with the
I
bank
really
when
suggest
they
that the
pretend
whispers of deflation
like
out
they
there,
don't know
just to give you one
this
idea to link into 70
when you
dollars.
have a stock
What do you
market
think for
bank?
intermediate.
The sabbatical paper.
What I would
Part of the stock market.
But within all the
But
balloons
now,
out there and all this,
it's
how
no
many Fed
longer
speakers do we have
part
today?
of
A
the
lot. That's 8 to
market.
a lot. Guess what? Pork prices in China.
That bond have been
That's another
broken
example
when
of
you
the global deflation. Look at the
take
different vectors
from
of
the
Germany.
market
Another example
what you
of
don't
disinflation
have to
and deflation.
when
It's
you
out
got
there. You
paid
see that
from the
in
pay
shocking way.
that gives
Price
you
are getting better because
credit
the signs
and
of improvement
percentage
was
for
demand
that
rolling over.
portfolio
When it comes
for
to
that
crude,
person
we're going to be talking more
that
about demand
invested
signals
their
sales
money
in the
in
weeks to
you.
come.
Especially because the U.S.
So
government
now you
reports
heard
are
it
saying that American
yourself
gasoline demand
when
will
you
drop to
did
20-year
that.
low
And not
next
only
year.
you heard
So
it
just
him,
soak that into
yourself,
the reasons
but you
that might be
hold
backing
a
some of
whole
what they're
lot
saying.
of other
Around 81,
investment,
WTI
not
in the
just in the
70s.
United
Dean, gonna catch
States.
up. As always, next hour, Sebastian Page, a T.
It's
Rowe
not
Price is going to be
banks
joining us on
only
this
in the
program.
United
Break down a
States.
stunning rally in the equity market. 7
Don't you
days
know
of
they
gains on the
have
S&P
banks across the
500, and we
globe that
open
they
the
base
door
they
for a
trade?
rally into year end from New York City
What
this
part
morning.
you don't
Good
understand
morning.
and you working in banking? What part you don't understand the growth when you ask for a lot of money for holding other people money? So you're gonna have to pay that growth of that percentage of that money to the market. And you're lucky the market is sensitive and not taking all at one time. Because it gives you a chance to pay a certain amount of percentage to collect from the dollar that pays the dollar that's in the stock that goes into the market before it takes the bank the amount of money that the bank owes. You see, that's what they don't get. It's not all about
It's a commitment. Senator
the
Bill Cassidy
stock
of Louisiana speaking
that's
to our colleagues
in
on
the
Banners
bank
in the last
that the
24 hours.
prices are
Let's talk
going
about
up.
the next 24 hours.
It's
The
about
amount
the
of debt
bank
coming to market from the US
that the
Treasury.
market
Lisa went through
wants
the 10-year
and
notes
the
that come a
market
little bit
going
later on
to
this afternoon.
going to
$40
get
billion worth. Then on to
because
tomorrow,
the bank
$24 billion
was the one
of 30-year
that
notes. You put it all
broken
together.
this
The interest cost in
contract.
this country right now is coming from Bloomberg Analysis here in New York. The estimated annualized interest payments on the US government debt pile climbing past $1 trillion at the end of last month. Bramo, these are interest payments. I think we have to keep going back to that. We're talking about interest payments through $1 trillion potentially.
The deficit is manageable when interest rates are near zero. If you're not paying anything on this debt, you can have a massive debt pile. When interest rates start climbing, that same deficit becomes punitive to the level of 5, 6, 7, 8% of the GDP coming out 10, 20,
Of
30
course,
years. This is
Grandma.
what people are focused on. And people in Washington, I guess, have to realize this might be what's going on in the bond market.
It's a real world, and I take your point
Because the
strongly.
market
It's gonna be a
didn't take
political
all
fight.
the
I've
money
seen
from the
people
bank,
vote
and
on
it
the
didn't
debt
take
deficit.
all
It's
the
gonna be
money
disgusting.
that the bank
As you see
making.
this higher
Is
interest
giving
rate, I
a
would bump
chance
up against the
for the
yards
bank to
for
come
the
correct and to
ISP,
pay.
and
In order
all of
for
our
the
interest rates
bank to come
analysis
correct to
predicated on
pay,
America having buoyant growth.
the Feds
That's a little bit shaky right now. That confidence
got to make
is
sure
not quite
We certainly got that in 3Q.
that portfolio
I think
get
now we're looking
paid
for that to slow into 4Q and into next year
because
as well.
the bank
If you want just joining us,
refuses
here are the
to
scores in
pay
the bond market. The 10-year right
because the
now,
market had
yields aren't
already
in the fives
paid.
anymore. That's the good
So
news.
the
Over the last
market
couple of
gonna
weeks, we're back
collect
into the fours,
his
458,
money back from the
73. A
bank
couple of basis points on
that
recession,
it
though.
paid
In
the
the equity
bank
market,
for that
remember what we've seen
portfolio,
7 days.
and the
We're down to
market's
the
gonna
S&P
take
500
everything
So on it,
that
Nasdaq
the
is 100.
Let's review
bank
this. This is
have
You call it a
in
melt up,
stock.
okay.
No, it's not a melt up. It's a persistent bid.
Because the
I've been
bank
watching it really carefully.
is under fire.
I'm away.
That broken
I'm
the
on the
bar
sabbatical. We're
with
trying
the
to
market.
decide
How many
when to
times
publish.
I gotta
And the
say
answer is
this
I'm watching this on an
over and
hourly
over and
basis.
over
And it just,
again?
the bid's
Boy,
there.
I need me a
It's not about
cigarette.
a
I don't
melt up.
have a
It's
cigarette.
this kind that pulls back. And they come, and they come. Pulls back. It's a different feeling now, as Dean Kern had talked about.
The longest run against Tom in about 2
See,
years, going back to
know
November
what these
2021, up by more than 8% in a week on the Nasdaq 100.
mechanical
Quite a run.
Wow.
engineer
14.86.
worrying
Now, let's get to
about
the political moment here. Look
how
for
much
balance of
money
power
it
continuing
is,
in order to
how
balance
high,
the
how much money
Joins our director
they
of
gonna
policy
have
research
to
at
pay.
Rodriguez is
Well,
here.
they right.
Company.
Because as
Jeanette,
long as
these
the money
elections
continue
matter
to
to
go
me,
to the
and
bank,
when I
where
was
else it's
governor
gonna
of
go to?
Kentucky, when he won Attorney General, he won by
So the
2,000
bank
votes in Kentucky. When he won the
have to
first
pay
time as
this money
governor, he
back.
won by all of 6,000 votes.
The market
There is the shock of Virginia.
is going to
Was it a
collect and
question
going
of
to
close
not
votes,
stop
or did the Democrats
collecting
win resoundingly?
to all the money dry up.
A really strong night last night.
And then it's going to take the bank. Because the bank was the one
Kentucky won
that broke the contract.
0.4 percentage points in 2019. This time he has about a 6 percentage point lead going into his reelection. So that is a strong validation for him being popular in the state, the Democrats being able to campaign on the correct issues this cycle. We saw that Democrats did have momentum going into these midterm elections or off-year elections. They had won 24 of 30 special elections over the course of the year. And then last night with the elections that you saw in Kentucky, in Virginia, in New Jersey, in Pennsylvania, you showed that Democrats really did have some momentum on these down ballot races.
To borrow from the former president, so much losing. Will the Republicans change their approach?
I think that one thing is going to be difficult is that the one issue that has continued to be quite salient for the Democrats is the abortion issue. They used it in 2022. They used it this year. It's been a very good driving issue. You saw turnout in a number of these races, particularly the Ohio abortion measure that drove the election results. And so that is something that Democrats are going to be continuing to look forward to in 2024.
But see, the problem with that, where is they going to get the money from?
That he's probably going to be focusing on abortion
You see,
in that race as well.
how
And
is
in
people
Virginia, the
going to
Republicans
support
tried
them
to change the narrative a little bit on abortion. They tried to talk about a
when
15-week
they
ban and said it was more of a limitation.
have to
it was more
collect
reasonable
money
than what the Democrats are proposing, and voters
to
rejected
support
it. And so that is going to be very instructive going into 2024. Republicans
they
are going to be
team?
struggling on this issue. They're going to have to figure out other issues that would be better
You see, because the
positioned
money
in order to get some votes
is
and
in
change
trouble.
some of these outcomes. Jeanette, how do you understand the fact
Now,
that Biden is losing
who gonna
in a lot
buy
of polls, particularly with the matchup with
some
former President Trump, and yet the Democrats
bonds?
had a really good night last night?
And
So what
who's
it
going to
shows to us is
support
that Biden is weak,
a
but it's more
team
isolated to him. And so down ballot
when
Democrats have
money
been able
is
to
in
separate
trouble?
themselves. They've been able to show their own
I'm going to try to
messages.
slow
And that's
down and keep
important
it
in a lot
real
of these
simple.
races, and it's very important going into 2024. Now, obviously, having Biden at the top of the ticket will be important. We do still have a long way to go. Polls at this point are not necessarily very instructive to what we're going to see in November 2024, but it does show Democrats that they have an opportunity to separate themselves from Biden, to still go out
And
on their
see,
own
if that
messaging and still be able
portfolio
to
would have
produce
got
strong results.
fixed,
And I think that should give the party a little bit
then the
more
bank
comfort this morning.
wouldn't
As
have
they're
to
looking
pay
ahead
so
to
much a high
2024.
rate.
It's coming amid a lot of discomfort, I should say, especially
The only
after
thing the
the
market
censure
would have
last
did
night in
is
Congress
take a
of
small
Michigan
percentage
Democrat
so they can
Rashida
catch up
Tlaib. This question around
because of
fissures
the
in the
dollar
Democratic Party, do you think that they have been
of the high
overplayed
rate.
or
It
underplayed
begins
heading
to
into this
take high
election cycle?
dollar. Now, if they would have fixed the portfolio that been paid, it would take less money. It would have worked with it because it's all about the economy. It's not about being greedy, taking everything you got. But this is what the people decided. This is what the people invested. So this is what the market's going to do. It's not about controlling the market. It's about getting paid, making right investment, working with the economy, not about getting over and taking from investments that trying to help the economy grow.
And it didn't. So a lot of these races, they are local. It's more focused on local issues. And so when we go into 2024, national issues will matter more. But I think you can see that Democrats are also able to reach their base.
Right.
And then it's going to be up to Republicans to also have a similar counter message.
And Jenna, not to get the crystal ball out, but we do have the surveillance crystal ball out today. It's right here. It's putting off a nice glow here. On radio, it's a beautiful crystal ball we've got in front of us. Jeanette, I'm going to cut to the chase. The Republicans.
Let's stop making that crystal ball funky.
In the primaries, in the debates as well. What
Understand?
nuances will
When
we
they
see?
talk about the
What does the Haley
inflation,
do? What
when
does the
you still
DeSantis do?
burning all this and you want green,
Well, so I think one of the things
and
that
you
we'll be
don't
watching
have the
for
money, you
tonight is,
taking it, and you
Nikki Haley has been
causing
getting some
trouble.
momentum.
That
And
ain't
now
working.
we have a lot of geopolitical issues
You
that are
gotta
at the
come to
surface.
terms
So
and
Nikki
agree
Haley is
because
going
both
to
of
really
them
try
work
to
hand in hand
capitalize
because
on
we
those
still
issues
got to
and try to
use
put
it.
herself above Ron DeSantis in
You
that
can't
frame.
have
So that's
one
something where I
without
think we're
the
going to be
other
really watching
and
because
say
as we've seen over the past couple
we
of
can
months,
make
the
this work
geopolitical issues are
when
becoming
you don't
increasingly
have the
important.
money to make it
Bread
work.
and butter issues are
Understand
always
what
going
I'm
to be important
saying?
in a presidential race, but these issues are going to be important going into 2024. We probably haven't even seen the extent of it yet. So the dynamic between someone who's very strong on national security versus someone who's stronger on domestic issues, I think that's going to be a big play in the debate tonight.
Jeanette Lowe, wonderful to get your thoughts as always. Jeanette Lowe there of Strategas, the third debate, I believe, for the presidential candidates for the Republican Party. A headline crossing the Bloomberg just moments ago. Let me share that headline with you. This is from the executive arm of the European Union, the European Commission, formally recommending opening membership talks with Ukraine. Several layers to this that are worth working through. The Commission's opinion needs to be approved by EU leaders at a summit that will take place next month, so in December. Alberto Nardelli here at Bloomberg did a wonderful job of breaking this down, so I suggest you go out there and read the story that he's just published. And Tom, ultimately, this can take a long, long time. So the last
United States,
member of EU expansion
where you
was
are
Croatia.
investment
That
in
took
the
10
bank,
years.
and you have bank across the globe, that stock money goes into, that the market is collecting stocks,
European standards as part of this
they gotta come correct. That's the only thing.
It's going to take a long time.
And then the market will slow down and the economy can catch up. It's not really hurting. It's just collecting money for a portfolio that the bank didn't pay. So when the bank didn't pay and this was already paid, it's going to continue to collect. Hey, I hope I screwed you right, because I wouldn't want to screw you wrong. So I'm out of here. Hey, Jonathan, it's good to see you out the corner into the field. So, hey, until Tom that he can stop crying from the giant newspaper smacking him on the head. And Lisa, listen, don't worry, the family just don't
was
want to be
525
bothered
from
with. That's why they
526. That was
chase
the middle
you
of
over the
October.
house.
Go back to
And
the
far
over
as
10
me,
year, that was just
they
north of
still
5%.
saying,
And these are the levels we've come back
that's
to.
a dumb mother.
493 on a
Well,
2 year.
this
On a
has
10 year,
been
back to about
a
457.
Timothy
And Tom,
Green
that move has supported
investment
this equity
stock
market.
market in
It is.
school.
There's no question about it. The bonds are linked into the equities as well, but there's something else going on.
Oh, don't forget the
Again, when you
bond.
look at the equity
Did I
curve
say
that's out
that?
there, and I'm gonna
Hey,
just go
what
out,
else?
John, to the
Oh
wall
man, that
right
got
that's out
lost
there
in the
and how
mail
many
somewhere.
people were on the
Well, I'll
sidelines
be damned.
that's overlaid
See
with
ya.
the value we've seen.
The trillions of dollars in money market